Welcome to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, as we get ready for kickoff between DC Power and Fort Lauderdale United. Felicia Knox has a goal and an assist this year as Fort Lauderdale United look for their first win in over a month, while DC Power is anchored by Madison Wolfbauer's 2 goals for the season. Can they come on the road and get a victory? Kickoff coming up on Peacock. Tonight's Fort Lauderdale United FC match is presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing, and it's the second meeting between Fort Lauderdale United FC and DC Power. Alongside Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Michael Watrain. Great to have you with us tonight. These teams met on September 13th, Ricky. DC had twice as many shots, but the goals came from Fort Lauderdale United.
It was all about how clinical can you be in both boxes, and Fort Lauderdale United got everything right. It was a fantastic first goal from McCain, just getting herself in a very dangerous opportunity, but the question was going to be, can they double their lead? And it was Hamid. She scored a fantastic individual goal on this left-hand side. I do think for Fort Lauderdale United, you can grow some confidence, so it sets up for an intriguing matchup here this afternoon.
It was the first win in club history for Fort Lauderdale United. Despite facing those 20 shots, they kept the clean sheet in that one. This is a Fort Lauderdale United team that has 0 wins in the last 4, but their last one came against the league's best, Brooklyn, so it's been a mixed bag of emotions for this group.
Now take it a step further for this Fort Lauderdale United side. They took a point off of Tampa, and they're playing here at home, so now you grow the momentum, you take the first 10 to 15 minutes and really ask a lot of questions of this DC side. Fantastic opportunity for Fort Lauderdale to get yet another win here at home.
It was an equalizer in the 3rd minute of stoppage time from Anna Henderson that could propel them. Meanwhile, our player to watch tonight, presented by Baptist Health, Addie McCain, 6 goals and 9 assists. She said that she's hungry for more.
And she can do a little bit of everything, whether it's dropping in and being part of the build-out phase, but can also run in behind and stretch that line. I do think for Fort Lauderdale United, how clinical can she be, and what does the service look like into her? Because she's shown that she can be a star.
For DC United on the other side, this is a group that, likewise, a little bit up and down at times this season. In their last 5 matches, they have gotten a couple wins. They are trending in the right direction.
Just looking for consistency. Consistency not only in your performances, but also the lineup. We talked to Fred Briand earlier this week, and he said, look, we just need to get that first half and that whole 90 minutes together. Big opportunity on the road for DC Power. I do think how quickly can they get up to tempo is going to be key.
Just 6 goals this season. They're the lone team in the league with single digits, looking for an outburst tonight. And they have one of the young superstars in this league, the Wake Forest commit, Allie Flanagan, 2 goals this year, both coming in her professional debut.
A team that creates a lot of opportunities. So you're looking at Allie Flanagan to really convert those opportunities. She's going to start on this left-hand side, can beat you through combination play, but also can beat you through 1v1. She needs to be massive for DC Power here on the road.
It's a fun matchup on tap tonight in the USL Super League. Fort Lauderdale United playing host to DC Power. When we come back, it's a look at the starting 11s and the opening kickoff from South Florida when we return.
What does it mean to feel welcome? To not only be cared for, but to be cared about, to trust. At Baptist Health, this is the warmer side of care. So welcome to being treated with a human touch, where your best interest is our best interest. Here, we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts close to home. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
New flavors, the same traditions. Be the guest of honor Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
Tonight's player walkout is presented by Amaranth Bank. It's Fort Lauderdale United playing host to DC Power on this November evening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We take a look at the starting 11 for Fort Lauderdale United, presented by La Croix Sparkling Water. Heather Hinz is back out there. That's a different piece for this goalkeeping squad here tonight.
I think defensively is going to be really important for this Fort Lauderdale United side. Gaynor and Brooks, how good can they be at staying compact and keeping everything in front of them to afford that middle three to dictate tempo? This team likes to play around the corners, and that front three, how good can they be at expressing themselves?
DC Power has 2 academy players on the pitch tonight in Flanagan and Cross for this group.
And those are the players that are going to provide a lot of the width. So look for Flanagan on the left-hand side. She might come a little central to look to combine with Douglas and Escort. How good can they be at pinning back the 2 center backs for Fort Lauderdale United so Cross and Duong can dictate the tempo?
There's a look at Allie Flanagan. Terrific performance, had that 90th minute game winner against Lexington on October 25th. And it will be the white kits tonight for DC Power, and it's the blue for Fort Lauderdale United here in Fort Lauderdale for kickoff tonight. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez, Espin, and the candle is lit here this evening between these two sides for the second time this season. Fort Lauderdale United hosting DC Power. Well, it's been unseasonably cool down here in South Florida, and temperatures a little bit chilly, and Floridians of course trying to make it fall by bringing out the sweatshirts at this time of the year, but the calendar at least says as such. But these two sides trying to catch fire here before the fall break. The league table somewhat irrelevant when you look at things because of how much time is left in the season. Flag is up here on Hamid for offside, but both of these sides at this point very much looking at this final window of time, these last couple games before the fall break, trying to get things on the right path as you take a look at Fred Brion.
Just trying to build a foundation for his side, for Fred Brion's side. That really difficult result last time out, 3-0 loss against Brooklyn. So what does the reaction look like? He wants his side to play out of the back, so they need to be really clean at understanding what spaces that you can exploit and really test Fort Lauderdale United.
In the first meeting, they had no issues, 20 shots. However, they didn't score on any of those attempts. And twice as many shots on target, but lost 2-0 in that meeting back on September 13th. Jockeying for position is Flanagan, but losing it to Vaca. Raji tosses this ball through the middle of the park. McCain angles it forward. Spoke with associate head coach Allie Rogers this week, and she said that she wanted this team to control possession, control the way that this game is played in the story arc here tonight, and certainly doing so here in the opening minutes, keeping this ball away from DC. And this ball given away in a precarious location. Fredericks pounces, but Knox comes back and intercepts, regains the ball quickly. McCain outlets it. Hamid. There's her pass deflected out. Tonight's keys to the game are presented by Amaranth Bank. What are your keys tonight, Ricky?
For Fort Lauderdale United, like you mentioned, Michael, they need to be patient in possession. You have to pick and choose your times when to play direct and when to penetrate this DC Power defensive structure. And for DC, Fort Lauderdale United like to congest that central location. So how expansive can you be in nature and moving the opposition from left to right and providing the width?
It's a DC Power side that has the fewest goals in the league. Fort Lauderdale United, the fewest shots. What happens this evening? Hamid. Quality in 1v1 is the key to her game, and she knocks this ball off the defender, and it's our first corner of the evening as the former Towson star knocks this out, and a corner kick presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing.
Early on, you just see how talented Hamid is. 1v1, ability to drop her shoulder, create a little bit of separation. She's always going to be a focal point, especially in the attacking phase of the game for Fort Lauderdale United.
Was taken short. It forces a recycle. Gordon charges forward. Gets the return pass just outside of her right-footed range. Riley Cross takes it back over. There's Morgan Aquino, 23-year-old keeper from Perth, Australia. McCain touches this ball just enough on it to get it forward. Gomes knocks it through. One bounce from Gordon. Second one, Gomes unable to hold on, and she gets called for the foul, but a little warning shot placed there by Fort Lauderdale United.
Just look at the numbers committed forward for Fort Lauderdale United. McCain, she starts everything from a deep lying position, but as this ball rotates over, I think Gomes makes the wrong decision in the end. Excuse me, Rajid. You have McCain coming on, you just roll it into her path. Now she has a better angle to really test the goalkeeper, but good start for Fort Lauderdale United.
It's the second of a 5-match homestand to wrap up the fall slate for Fort Lauderdale United. They've scored multiple goals here at home so far this season. A year young for this new league in this country, the USL Super League. Talent exploding on a nightly basis on these fields. Heather Hinds, 23-year-old, played collegiately at South Carolina. Former SEC tournament MVP, former SEC goalkeeper of the year as well, and has quickly been a good fit for this side. Coming over on loan from the Houston Dash. Let's take a look at tonight's injury report presented by Baptist Health. Seen a couple injuries for Fort Lauderdale United, banged up at the goalkeeper spot in Morche and Gottschalk. And Kamani as well out for this matchup. DC's pretty healthy at this point in the season. Get a whistle back behind the play. Here's a look at Tyrone Mears' first season on the bench as head coach. Spent some time with Inter Miami, and of course former Seattle Sounders. Played with Atlanta United, Minnesota, began his playing career with Manchester City. So Aquino is down, back behind the play. The Australian A-League goalkeeper of the year with Perth Glory last year. An early cramp in this one. Of course, climate's much different this time of year between Washington, D.C. and the southern tip of the Sunshine State. There is one other game currently going on in the USL Super League. That is Carolina playing host to Dallas Trinity. And it's an early start. Sam Meza scoring in the 3rd minute for the Trinity. And a 1-0 advantage against Carolina. Fascinating matchup in that one as Dallas trying to close the gap on the top 3 in the league, with Brooklyn sitting on 23 points, Carolina 21 now, and Dallas at 20. Aquino 29 saves this year, 3 clean sheets. Very valuable piece of the pie for DC Power. So after a few minutes of stoppage, Aquino back up, back into her post as well. Chance to put this ball back into play. A throw in for DC Power on the road tonight. And that ball out of the reach along that far left sideline. And a throw in coming. Myra Conti was Vanderbilt's first ever NWSL draftee after winning the MVP of the SEC tournament during her time with the Commodores.
Just see how comfortable Fort Lauderdale United are on the ball at pulling the strings from a deep line position. What that's going to do, that's going to pull DC Power out of their shell. So now you have that front three. How active can they be at providing some of that support, whether it's dropping in, whether it's running in behind? It's really impressive with how comfortable this home side is on the ball to start this match.
Possession, a big piece of their game. This ball angled forward. Gomes, however, was standing offside when that ball was funneled to her. Lauderdale United have not held a lead in any of its last 3 matches. DC Power has lost back-to-back matches for the 2nd time this year, looking for a win and avoid that 3-game skid. Claire Constant, former Virginia Cavalier. Tenth minute of play here, scoreless between Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power. Fort Lauderdale United entering 6th on the table, DC Power 7th on the table, a point separating the two. Team leader in minutes. Gaynor tosses it back over. And a lot of builds from the back at this point for Fort Lauderdale United, looking to find some space moving forward. Cross comes over, forces this giveaway. Diorio. Gaynor retreats. Chance to build through the right side yet again. It's another direct pass over the top. This ball takes a couple long hops and rolls all the way back in where Aquino gobbles it up.
Talk about some of the keys for this home side as being patient in their possession. You're going to have a lot of the ball, but what do you do with it? How quickly can you play from left to right? You do not want to try to overcomplicate things and try to play direct. You're having success when you start centrally. Now you go wide and you find whether it is Gomes or McCain popping up in those little pockets of space. Those two players need to become a little bit more influential at being the outlet through this pressure.
Bauer takes this ball away. There's a look at Taylor Smith, the youngest player on the field tonight, 16 years of age. Plays locally at NSU University School. Put up 170 points during her prep days. Pass just beyond McCain, unable to slow it down. Constant takes it over. This is better. Escort on the wide side.
And that pass into McCain is the one that you need to connect if you are Fort Lauderdale United, because you bypass the initial pressure and she finds herself in a nice little pocket of space. But give credit to DC Power as well, showing the ability to not get broken down, discipline in their defensive shape. A team that has conceded 15 times, especially on the road. They've only won once, so for Fred Briand, it was always going to be a defensive battle and staying compact in your shape, and they've done that through 14 minutes here.
It's a team that's been shut out 8 times in 12 matches this year, finding that extra bit of quality in the attack. The biggest piece of the pie missing at this point. Hamid has her initial pass knocked down. Her second go at it, lengthy and intercepted.
Great work from Gromes to backtrack about 20 yards and recover the ball.
Phenomenal. That pass though, high arcing, unable to be tamed by Gordon, but the work rate is there.
From your number 10, an attacking type player, but also dropping down and doing her defensive duties as well. It's a nice little run here from Gordon, who provides the width on that far side, just a bit heavy on that first touch.
Gomes most recently played in Mexico with Cruz Azul. Ball knocked away by Hamid. Gomes again has been all over the park at this point. Which team will fire an opportunity first in this one? Fort Lauderdale United, 11 goals on the season. That's 6th in the league. They've only been shut out once all season long, but their biggest challenge has been finding the net multiple times in a match. Brooks arcs this around. Hamid gets just enough on it. McCain takes over. Fredericks the last to touch it. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Lauderdale United working its way along the sideline. Cameron Brooks comes forward. Comes from an athletic family. 8 extended family members have played collegiately. Douglas taps this ball through the middle. Cross arcs this ball wide. Flanagan chases after it. Flanagan brings it in. Hefty on that touch, gets a piece as she slides through, and Hins is there to climb on top of it, but Allie Flanagan showing that athleticism in space.
Reason that we highlighted her in the open, 2 goals on this 2024 campaign, but the ability to stretch the back line, always a threat. Fantastic recognition from DC Power. They high line, but that touch right there just sends her too close to Hens, and give credit to the goalkeeper. Decisiveness is always top priority, flawless in her positioning.
Young star brewing in this league, and will take her talents to Wake Forest in the fall. Side winding pass along the sideline. Fredericks chases after it. Brooks cuts her off. Both teams starting to grow a little bit into this match. DC Power showing its ability to counter a team that has only scored once in the opening 25 minutes of matches this year.
Just notice DC Power, when out of possession, how quickly they like to shift and clog passing lanes and cut out passes centrally. Exactly what Fred Briand wants to do. He wants his opposition to go around him, never through him. They've really frustrated this home side in Fort Lauderdale United. No real clear-cut opportunities through the first 18 minutes here.
The direct passes not finding any bits of empty space. DC Power consistently having bodies around. This is where Fort Lauderdale United want to be dangerous in the wide areas with Hamid and Gordon. Constant shields McCain and draws the foul.
Just the way that McCain likes to play in the pockets that she picks up now. If you are one of the 4 defending players for DC Power, if you step off of your line, the other 3 need to provide coverage because Gomes is really clever with her movement as well. So constant, Wolfbauer, Diorio, and Conti, communication going to be really important at understanding when to step and when to drop.
Brooks comes back to rescue. We get a foul whistle before that initial touch. Fort Lauderdale United wanted the advantage to be played. Instead, they blow the whistle to halt that. Gerald Flores is our official tonight, his second game as the center official for the USL Super League match. Lauderdale United controlling possession, twice as many passes at this point. But DC Power have showcased its ability on the counter in small pockets. Claire Constant, who plays with the Haitian national team, has the ball in possession. Swings that off the backside of McCain, and it's a giveaway. Hamid. Well, 20 minutes in the books in this matchup. We are scoreless so far in this game. And 1 total shot officially on the ledger at this juncture. This ball rolled along. Diorio knocks it out. Lauderdale United, no issues with getting the ball towards the attacking third. The problem has been entry passes inside of the 18-yard box. Gordon loses possession on a good slide tackle. It comes back out. Raji. Brooks. Her pass inaccurate. Gainer and Brooks. I've seen a lot of the ball early. On a giveaway, it's taken away. Douglas. Flanagan sends it wide. Conti lines this ball up. Charges around 1 defender. Conti tosses it in. Second phase action. Duong shoots, and it goes over the top of the 18-yard box, or over the top of the bar from outside the 18-yard box. And an early warning shot right there.
DC Power's best attacking phases have came from turning their defense into offense. Fantastic little work here from Conti, but as this ball pops out, notice the way that Duong approaches it. Her hips are open. She tries to just kind of pass it in. You need to get your head over your shoulders stay down and put your laces through it, put a little bit more power, but good action from the visiting side.
Those moments provide little glimmers of hope for this DC side on the road. Gordon, though, carries it out. DC have not seen a whole lot of the ball. And for a team that has only led for 92 minutes all season long. In the aftermath of both Hurricanes Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have access to the resources they need to recover. Here it is again, another good opportunity. Douglas winds it up. Conti laces this ball in. It winds up at the feet of Flanagan. Her touch angles wide as defense prevented that chance, and it hits the hand of Douglas, and it's a handball.
Well, there's a transitional moment, or just playing direct. DC Power is causing some issues for Fort Lauderdale United. Not only the initial ball, but the secondary balls that they're picking up higher up the field, whether it is Douglas, whether it is Escort, Flanagan as well, have really came alive over the last 5 minutes. But now it's that decision making that we had the ability to speak with Fred Briand earlier this week. And he said, look, we're doing really well getting ourselves into that final third, but it's maybe a lack of composure, making the wrong decision, taking a little bit too long. All those minute details make a massive difference. That's a good ball here.
Gordon tracks this ball down, hits it first time across, and Aquino able to hold on to it. It's a foul whistle. And another look at this long ball.
Fantastic ball in from Knox, but as Gordon picks her head up, everyone's retreating towards that goal line. You have McCain, makes a really clever run, gets bypassed. A little bit of skill here from Douglas, just right through the legs. Goes down after the contact from Brooks. Now this game is starting to open up a little bit more over the last 5 minutes.
7 of the 11 goals that Fort Lauderdale United have scored this year have come in the second half. Very much a team that grows as the seconds tick away. Gomes pushes that ball back. Here goes Gordon again. Gordon, 1v1 situations. How does she fare? Touches it forward. Gomes gets an angle on it, but funnels it wide. It cannot quite control.
Fantastic work from Gordon. She's been a focal point on that far end. Starts with the work from McCain dropping down, but as she's just letting this play develop, Gomes peels off of a blind side. Just mistimes it. That's a fantastic ball. As an attacking player, if you take your first touch out of your body, now that affords you to have a strike on goal with your second touch. Just needs to be a little bit cleaner in around that 18-yard box.
Speaking with Ali Rogers, she said that the combination of Hamid and Gordon are tasked with ingenuity in wide areas and being solid in 1v1 situations. I feel like this team could excel if those two are able to find some creativity on the outside.
Nice little pocket of space there from Douglas.
Winds this ball all the way across. Flanagan cannot knock it down. It was tailing away from her foot. Gainer slides it away. Did she keep it in? She did not. It's a corner kick for the first time in the match for DC Power.
On set pieces, Michael, especially when you're on the road, always a fantastic way. Take it on the score sheet here. It's a few are DC Power Duong. You're looking for quality to place this ball and cause a little bit of chaos in front of Hens.
Corner kick presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Katie Duong, former Stanford Cardinal, lines this ball up. 23-year-old from Portland, Oregon. Ships this ball in, low lining cross. Nodded away. Second phase opportunity. Cross unable to slow it down. Raji just sends it out of play. Another cross sent along that Hins smothers. This has sort of gone according to the script for DC Power. 3 of the 5 matches that they played on the road this year have finished 1-0 results. And none of their matches have featured either team scoring multiple goals. Very much been defensive slugfests. That ball given away. Flanagan lines it up, shoots this ball high and over everybody. Shows the confidence, though, of the young Wake Forest commit.
It's a risk versus reward for Fort Lauderdale United. If you want to be a possession-based team and build out of the back, you need to be really clean when this ball comes centrally, because this can happen. But I love the intent here from Flanagan. First touch out of her body, second is a strike on goal, but as she approaches it, her shoulders go back, and that's why it goes up and over the crossbar.
Forces that ball off the foot of Aquino. Constant.
Just look at all the blue jerseys committed a little bit forward. So right here, that pocket of space is always going to be on, and more times off the night than Douglas that just pops in. So that is an area that you can really exploit if you are Fred Briand, right in front of that back line, behind that midfield line.
Third of the way through this matchup. After that feeling out process at the beginning, starting to get some flares of energy from both sides. Scoreless, however, between Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez Espin, and our team with you here on Peacock tonight. It's the USL Super League. One of 2 matches ongoing right now. These 2 sides could leave with the playoff line well within their sights. Duong gladly accepts the giveaway. Shuffles it wide, and Vaca will escort this ball out. The USL Super League kicked off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August, featuring 8 teams located throughout the country. Watch all of the Super League games and the historic firsts, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. DC has given up the 2nd most goals in the league this year. 10 of the 15 that they've conceded have come in the first half. And 6 of those 10 have come in the final quarter hour of the first half. So perhaps alarm bells ringing with this back line, trying to keep Fort Lauderdale United off the board in half 1. Hamid. Raji. Gordon, oh, really nice pass. Gordon hesitates, swings this ball over the top, and hits the crossbar, stays in play. McCain chases it down and knocks it away for a goal kick, but almost an excuse me finish there by the 27-year-old out of West Virginia.
But it starts with this really clever ball in from Smith. Looks like she's going to play it down the channel, but Gordon takes a central location in a nice little pocket of space. Almost gets rewarded for putting the ball in a dangerous area, but she's been fantastic on that far side. His ability to run in behind, comfortable with the ball at her feet as well.
Quickly the other way, Douglas's pass. Flanagan takes it over. Flanagan is called for the foul. She misses the post anyway.
Fred Briand can't believe it. But as this ball gets played back, I'll tell you what. It does seem like Vaca just falls to herself. There's no real contact there. And in the end, Flanagan is lunging at the ball. That's why it goes up and over. But you just see the disbelief from the player. And I tend to agree with her. I think Fort Lauderdale United get away with one here.
Just a little bit of sloppiness in the back from Fort Lauderdale United, as DC Power believing that they can be the first team to score. But Hamid has other ideas. Plenty of real estate in the middle of the park. Knox tries to widen the park and instead airmails everyone. Hins being pressured here by Flanagan, and Flanagan is able to get a piece of that ball out, so it's a throw for Fort Lauderdale United, but yet again plays in and around the 18-yard box, sloppy enough that DC Power very easily could find a goal in one of these situations.
And the reason that you want to play out of the back is to pull out the opposition, to make them step up so gaps can start to open up, and that's when you can play and break them down. And in doing that, Muck, you just need to be quick, you need to be clean. And to start this game, Fort Lauderdale United, we're just that. But over the last 10 to 15 minutes, maybe a little bit of complacency starts to creep in, taking a little bit longer to make their decision. Their first touch is getting away from them, and that plays into the hands of DC Power, especially Flanagan.
This time it's a foul after nearly a takeaway from Conti. Total shots in this first half. Neither keeper has been required to make a save so far. Gordon again. Tricks does she have up her sleeve this time? Gordon through the middle this time. It's Gomes. Gomes shoots. It ricochets off of a defender and just wide.
Talk about the speed of play for this home side. Just needs to be a little bit quicker when they bypass that first line of pressure, but also you can bypass pressure with the ball at your feet. And Gordon's shown how comfortable she is, and she requires a lot of attention. She pulls in three players, so that opens up space elsewhere. Gomes pops in. Nice little deflection, but good action from Fort Lauderdale United.
It's a corner kick presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Knox marks this ball into the middle. It's Gomes, and it's headed high by Fredericks over the top of the bar.
Have to think this ball has eyes for the back of the net. Really good ball into a dangerous area, but just notice the backtracking from Fredericks. Almost playing as a second goalkeeper and helps out Aquino.
Gordon hunts this ball down, throws it through. Second chance, Knox shoots, winds up inside of the 6-yard box, and it gets funneled away. Everything but strings right now for Fort Lauderdale United. DC Power takeover, looking for a counter. This ball slices along the sideline. Flanagan runs out of real estate, but how about this little surge from Fort Lauderdale United?
And just starts with playing on the front foot and winning set piece after set piece. A corner kick, not the initial ball, the secondary ball that pops out. When there's so much traffic in front of the goal mouth, just put it in there and cause some chaos, ask some questions. But yet, after 39 minutes, still 0-0.
Inching closer to a first half goal. Will either side be able to do so before the whistle blows? It's another takeaway. Douglas shoots this from range. Hin slides to her left and watches it slide across the end line. It's another takeaway in the attacking half of the field. The best attack for DC Power have been their ability to press and take balls away. Sliding past one defender.
Just notice the numbers centrally for DC Power. Have 5, so their 3 midfielders, their 2 strikers drop in a little bit deeper and just try to congest central locations. So if you are this home side, start on one side of the field, end on the other to create a little bit of overloads with Hamid and Gordon, that's going to be the way that you can really break down this DC Power defensive structure. Just not enough real estate centrally.
Scrappiness here for Fort Lauderdale United. And again, this wide left channel, no access. Susanna Fredericks denies. Douglas has it for a moment, gives way Duong. Escort right back through. Douglas collides, slides, cross. Flanagan measures. Diorio back out wide. Conti. Middle it goes. McCain comes back to take it away. Final 5 minutes of this first half. We are scoreless, but both sides have had their best chances within the last 10 minutes. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez, Aspen, and our Peacock team with you here tonight. Great to have you with us from Fort Lauderdale, Florida at FTL UTD Stadium. Again, dispossession anchors a chance for DC Power.
Fort Lauderdale United need to be really careful. How to understand that, yes, you want to be expansive. You want your 2 wide players in, Hamid and Gordon, to push high and wide. Watch out here.
Hins is toying with it. Brooks, who centered the ball, slides it forward. FTL UTD indeed able to get that ball away. Hamid hits it first time. Gomes chases after it. Gomes brings it along. McCain tries to find space and bounces it off of a defender. What seemed to be a great rush ends without a shot.
Just mentioned it, Michael. You start on one side of the field, you end on the other. You're quick to bypass the initial line of pressure, and now you have a numerical overload. With Hamid, you have Gordon as well. Gomes comes in to the picture, but just continues to break down in around that 18-yard box. Just going back to that last opportunity for the home side, fantastic first touch from Hamid, but if you're Gomes and you take this touch centrally, this ball needs to be played wide. As you take a second touch, now what that does, that gives Diorio the ability to come across, slow down McCain, and get her teammate to drop in as well. So as Gomes, you take that touch, you bypass the initial pressure, just roll it into your teammate's path, and now she has a 1v1 with the goalkeeper.
Missed chance of a counter. Hamid and Fredericks barrel into each other. It stays in play, so Brooks has to glide it back through. Celia Gator. Hins.
You see they can find success when they play quick, when they play decisive, and pull out DC Power. The other side of that, yes, you want to be expansive, but if you can give the ball, if you do give the ball over cheaply, now you're vulnerable. There's gaps all over the field, so if you're Fred Briand, the message to your goals is first pass needs to be forward at a very high tempo.
How about this? Another mishit pass that leads to DC Power pouncing on it, but yet again, unable to get that ball around. This is where Fort Lauderdale United have been at its strongest. Along this right side with Gordon. 3 defenders around her. Tries to shake Wolfbauer. Is able to jitterbug away. Smith lines this up. It's a cross. It's 2 deflections. Gomes has it. One more crack at it. Gomes pushes it away. Gomes shoots. And how about the save from Aquino? Two minutes of first half stoppage time.
Doing all the hard work, Gomes. Unable to reward herself. The ball pops out favorably to her, but this ball needs to be back across, low and hard to that far post. Aquino does quite a good job at covering that near post. Big time save for the DC Power goalkeeper.
And the long throw nets a corner kick. And it's brought to you by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. To be one of the final touches of the opening 45 minutes of play here at Fort Lauderdale United Stadium. Felicia Knox lines this up and boomerangs this ball across. Conti heads the first. Cross gets to the second. Brooks swings it back along. Conti takes it and ricochets it off of Brooks's foot, and it's out for a goal kick. How do you summarize what we've witnessed here in the opening 45?
I think it's been a tactical battle, especially in the first 35 minutes. But as we pass that 35-minute mark, the game starts to open up. Players started to understand the areas that they can really operate in. But I do think if DC Power get the opening goal, it's going to be on a transitional moment. A sloppy giveaway from Fort Lauderdale. For Time Ramirez and Fort Lauderdale United, they found the most success when they play quick between the lines, and you have Hamid and you have Gordon going 1v1 in isolation.
Is there time for one more crack for FTL UTD? Gordon hits this high into the sky. It's punched by Aquino. And there's your first half whistle. So we end the opening 45 deadlocked without a score. And these two sides locked into a good one here on this Saturday evening in South Florida. So no score in this one, and both sides will like how the final quarter hour went and want to replicate that in half two.
Just need to clean things up in the final third. DC Power has done quite well being transitional, And same for Fort Lauderdale United, but now who's going to be more clinical in critical moments? That's going to get the opening goal.
So we're scoreless after 45 minutes of play. There were certainly some signs of an opening goal, but neither side able to do so. Halftime score presented by Amarant Bank, 0-0 after 45. Plenty more to come when we return to Fort Lauderdale here in just a moment.
New flavors. The same traditions. Be the guest of honor. Add more flavor to your parties. El Jimador. Spiked bebidas.
Once the game kicks off, the hype doesn't matter anymore. Your follower count means nothing. Your resume is irrelevant. What matters is the moment, the game, the crest on the front of your jersey, the people you play for. Are you going to make history? Are you going to save the day? Are you going to score a hat trick, break some ankles, or give a kid the thrill of a lifetime? This is what the movement is all about. These moments that matter. The USL Super League.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
With over 2 decades of experience in the payment industry, Beyond Bankcard is more than just a payment processor. We are a partner dedicated to your success. Our mission is simple: to provide innovative, flexible payment processing solutions tailored to meet your needs.
We partner up with various companies, restaurants, retail, smoke shops, convenience store, you name it, we have the POS system for it.
Whether it's tools we provide or the relationships we nurture, Beyond Bankcard is here to power your payment solutions.
Women's professional soccer is here. Get your tickets now at ftlutd.com.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. We love our Florida sunshine, but a hot house? Definitely not. At All Year, we offer same-day AC service and installation. Need to stay cool? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. We're South Florida's #1 for comfort because our family is serving your family all year. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR. That's 833-ALL-YEAR.
Women's professional soccer is here. Get your tickets now at ftlutd.com.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Amarant Bank. 0-0 is your score after 45 minutes of action here at Fort Lauderdale United Stadium. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez, Espen with you as we take a look at tonight's out-of-town scores presented by Delta Airlines. And on Wednesday, it was a 0-0 draw. I just did the research. 5 times this year, a match has ended 0-0, and twice in 11 days now, with Dallas and Spokane sharing a point. And Dallas is on the board early. Sam Mez's 3rd-minute goal for Dallas has them out in front of Carolina. All of a sudden, the Ascent, who could not lose early in the season, is on track to lose a 2nd consecutive match, barring a comeback in the final 25 minutes of play in that matchup. Fort Lauderdale United's schedule looks like this. 3 more home matches to go before the fall break. Dallas, Spokane, Carolina all come to town. Critical stretch for this group, and then the spring campaign restarts February 8th at Tampa Bay before Lexington comes to visit for your first time in 2025 to take a look at Fort Lauderdale United's upcoming schedule presented by visit Fort Lauderdale. The standings in the Super League are brought to you by Delta Airlines, and this is how things look at this point in time, with the live standings updating Dallas's 3 points to put them 1 point off the pace of Carolina and 3 away from the top spot in the league. But you're also looking at where Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power sit. A win for either of those two teams tonight, and all of a sudden they are nipping at the heels of Tampa Bay to get above the playoff line before the fall half of the season comes to a close. News and notes from around the USL and the USL Super League look like this. Tampa Bay Sun defeating Carolina Ascent 2-1 last week, getting that victory in decisive fashion against the Ascent. Luana Gravias, a hat trick in 13 minutes for Brooklyn, and Brooklyn 3-0 win, extending its winning streak to a league record. 4 straight matches have propelled that club to the top spot in the USL Super League table. We're scoreless at the half of this one. When we come back, it's the first half highlights as well as the stats from half number 1 between Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power.
Don't miss out. This is the official merchandise store during tonight's match, located at the south stands between sections 114 and 142. Proud Fort Lauderdale United kits and exclusive merchandise to show your support in style. Hey, Fort Lauderdale United fans, make sure to stick around after the game for player autographs and photos. Concessions will remain open, so grab a snack and hang out with your favorite team. Fort Lauderdale United.
That's right, it's where you don't know where my kitchen in that building. So it's very pizza, manager, the alternative. What you see this one back there? All right, Gigi.
Thank you, Lieutenant Patricia Regine and officers Brad Seltzer, Paul Berdakis, and Sean Levine.
Our halftime presented by Amarant Bank shows the score of 0-0 at the break. Michael and Ricky back with you here as we get ready to take a look at our halftime highlights presented by Blue Water Books and Charts. And There wasn't a ton that happened in that opening 45, but when there were chances, it was Allie Flanagan at the forefront.
Has a really good feel of understanding when to play wide, but also when to come centrally and just be vertical. That second touch right there gets her in trouble, but give credit to Hens. Comes off of her line really quickly and denies a goal-scoring opportunity. And yet again, for DC Power, turning their defense into offense. But if you're Duong, they'll let you step into this. You need to go with your laces. Get your shoulders squared over the ball. The way you just stab at it, that's why it goes up and over the crossbar. Unable to be clinical in around that final third.
Long sends this ball high. A lot of the chances early came from the visitors in DC Power, and this one in the 30th minute. It's another giveaway that leads to a Flanagan chance.
He had a good opportunity here from Flanagan. I love the intent, understanding where the goal is. Doesn't need a second invitation to pull the trigger, but yet again, just leaning back at that last second, unable to really test Hens.
There were some late chances from FTL UTD, but no goals. As you take a look at our halftime stats presented by Beyond Bankert. 6 shots to 3 in favor of Fort Lauderdale United. They had the possession. How did one of these two sides score?
I think just needing a little bit of composure to slow the game down when you're in around that 18-yard box, especially for DC Power. It's been kind of the message over the course of 2024 this season, getting a lot of shots, 0 shots on target, something that Fred Briand has been worked extremely hard in the training ground. Decision-making has been lacking, and we see that a little bit again here today in the first 45 minutes for Fort Lauderdale United FC. They found the most success when they break through the pressure, but now you talk about decision-making, 1-2 touch, and get that front three. Gomes, Gordon, and McCain a little bit more in unison, stepping higher.
So it's scoreless at halftime between Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power. Who will get the stranglehold of this match and get a goal in the second half? We'll find out the answer to that. Kickoff in the second half next.
Secure your seats today. Visit FTLUTD.com for tickets and details. Join us for the Fort Lauderdale United Play Soccer Camp running November 25th through the 27th at Automation Field on the NSU campus. This camp is open to boys and girls ages 5 through 14 with both housing and full day options available. Don't miss the opportunity for your young athletes to develop skills, make friends, and have fun. Register now by visiting FTLUTD.com or stopping by the merch store. Sponsor Clinical Fast. Sign up today.
And we welcome you back here to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power are scoreless at the break of this matchup in the USL Super League. Michael Wantring, Ricky Lopez, Espen, and our group with you. And congratulations out to Colorado Springs Switchbacks, winning the USL Championship Cup final against Rhode Island. But what a run that was for Rhode Island to even make it to that point for a team that was flirting with the playoff line much of the season, and the Switchbacks get the job done in front of a rowdy Winder field.
Connell Smith did a fantastic job with that side. Had to go on the road not once but 3 times. Took down the top 3 in the East, but too much to handle. The Switchbacks were almost unplayable at home. So big congratulations to James Chambers and the Switchbacks.
Certainly those teams' journeys, a blueprint of sorts for of the teams that we're watching here. It was Rhode Island for much of the season playing below the playoff line. They had a lot of draws this year, set the league record in the category. Were able to get into the postseason as an expansion franchise and then discard Blue City. First time in their franchise's history they don't make a conference final. And then the Switchbacks, they found their rhythm at the end of the year, and both of these two teams maybe trying to replicate that, find that momentum as the year goes along and continue to get better. And I think every coach has echoed it in this league. It's not just that this is a new league. It's not just that these are expansion franchises. You're bringing in people with different ideas, different backgrounds to play together and trying to do it on the fly on any given week.
I think it's a lot harder than people realize to understand. You're not only getting a product on the field, you're trying to build a culture as well for this USL Super League side, especially for this DC Power side. Fred Briant, Tyron Mears, and Fort Lauderdale United, two coaches that have played at the highest level. So how do you translate that at being and creating that blueprint as we take a look at the standings?
Yeah, the standings can change on a given day. Certainly what Brooklyn is doing, those 4 consecutive wins have helped push them to the top of the league table, but also keep an eye on the games played number. FTL UTD, the fewest games. That means they have the most points in hand. So a couple results here and there, and they could very easily push themselves from that number 5 slot up to that 4 or 3 position. Top 4, of course, make the playoffs. A lot of season to go. This year, it'll be February that the second half of the year starts, and you go all the way through May. So there is a boatload of time left in this season for these two sides to find the right answers. So as we get ready for the second half, we are scoreless. There have been 5 matches to date that have finished with 0-0 score lines. 2 of the 5 have finished with DC on the field. 1 against Tampa Bay, 1 against Dallas. And will either side score a goal in this second half? We'll find out. It's DC in the white and blues, all blues for FTL UTD. And our second half is underway here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and the entirety of our crew here with you. And how about Allie Flanagan's early hustle to knock that off of Taylor Smith and win her team a corner kick in the opening 20-second. Corner kicks presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. No subs at halftime. Instead, it'll be a corner kick. Riley Cross, committed to play at Penn State in the fall of 2025, has the duties this time. And it's a left-footed short take, right outside of the 18. Second ball, lofted across. High arcing, off the outside of the foot. That ball bounces over the top and over towards the construction zone.
Any sort of set piece in around that 18-yard box that you have for DC Power, especially when you're on the road, you need to take that opportunity, get a golden chance from it. That's going to be something that if you are Fred Briant, you have to be a little bit frustrated with not capitalizing on that.
Brian talking with us the other day about this group and understanding that everybody has asked him about the fact that they're 3rd in shots but last in goals in the league. They're the only team with single digits in terms of goals so far this year. He said the chances that we're creating, we just haven't been able to score. We had that great chat with him, both of us dissecting things with him, and he felt that they just needed a little bit more composure, and the decision-making at times maybe lacking just a little bit in front of goal. But you feel like those goals will come as the year goes along.
Let's talk about an attacking phase of the game. Confidence is everything. It's a currency for strikers. So if you see one ball hit the back of the net, now the floodgates will start to open for Fred Briant, and that's something at a point of emphasis in training this week. Movements in around that 18-yard box, seeing and getting in that rhythm at first touch, second touch, and being clinical. That muscle memory for any attacking player is so important.
You were a good goal scorer back in your day, certainly with plenty of cold streaks in there as well. How did you respond in those situations?
Just continue to work hard. Everything that on the training ground is the hard work, and then once the game comes on the weekend, that's when you start to reward yourself. Always have to get a little dig in that, huh?
Mead chases this ball down. It ricochets off of Fredericks. Corner kick here for Fort Lauderdale United, presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Felicia Knox heads over there. Talk about a table setter. 20 assists in 2022 at Alabama. Led college soccer in that category. And Knox arcs this ball in. McCain tries to get to the first ball, unable to do so. Diorio heads it away, and now Flanagan comes back to take it. A chance off of the charge. Numbers forward. Will this ball be hit? It's Cross. Riley Cross hunts this ball down. Hustling to the middle, it's Douglas. Taylor Smith has the angle. The 16-year-old defender. Signs of life there in the counter, though, for DC.
Talk about transitional moments for DC. Turning their defense into offense, taking a defending corner kick.
Here's this ball across. Hins grabs it. Flanagan was salivating, but it doesn't end up near her feet.
Just needs to be a little bit quicker in doing so.
It's a good sign for both attacking sides that momentum built up in the final 15 minutes of the first half, and goal scoring chances has carried over to the second half. First time these teams met this year, both goals were scored by Fort Lauderdale United in the first half. They scored on 2 of their 3 shots on target in the game. And a 2-0 shutout victory. Long ball sent along that left sideline. Fredericks turns. And it's another takeaway. Douglas weaves around one defender. Cuts it over. Flanagan measures. Flanagan hits this ball well! And it's Hins diving to her left to cradle.
Douglas does a nice job at pushing the tempo with the ball at her feet, and Flanagan, right-footed, that plays on the left-hand side, but always wants to come centrally. And it's the second touch that sets her up, and you just see the movement on it. In the end, it's a fantastic save from Hens to deny Flanagan her 3rd on the season.
You've seen that quality from Allie Flanagan, 18-year-old. This ball bounces. Gomes had very much a hand in the attacking options for Fort Lauderdale United. It's a throw and also a stoppage here for an injury. Wolfbauer, the team's leading goal scorer, along with Flanagan with the pair this year. Off the restart, it's a throw from Smith. Gordon draws 3 defenders. Unable to slow down Cross, who weaves out of there. Gordon, though, gets it back. Knox punches it back over. Gordon gets a left foot all the way across. Escort is there to chaperone that ball away. McCain's been fairly quiet this evening. That ball went out of play, so it's a throw. DC have only scored 3 times in the second half of matches this year. However, 2 of those have been late, the 90th minute and the 8th minute of stoppage time. Meanwhile, Fort Lauderdale United have scored 3 goals after the 90th minute this year, so this very easily could be one where you need to hang on till the very end to watch a winner. Cross pounces on this ball. Douglas pokes it over. Flanagan wants that right foot again and carries it right into traffic. Conti takes it back. Flies it back post, and just enough there from Brooks, with Fredericks hunting that ball down.
When we talk about decision making, Michael, it's not only with the pass that you decide to take, it's also the angle that you attack the goal in. So many times Flanagan, she has that left foot open, but continues to cut in to her preferred right foot, and that just goes into traffic. But you have to give credit to Vaca as well. Really clever at forcing Flanagan and giving her the angle to go to the end line. She doesn't take it, comes back into traffic. And Fort Lauderdale United do a nice job at closing down the space.
You certainly feel like for Flanagan at 18, when she gets to Wake Forest, that'll be part of the developmental process moving forward, and certainly throughout this year as well, to develop the ability to hit the ball well with both feet. Gordon unable to slow that ball down enough. And when you look at the best players in the world, the best talent out there, as a striker, you have to at least show the ability to be dangerous with that left foot or the off foot. That'll force the opponent to respect both, and it opens up the more power side as you go through.
100%. Show the different weapons that you have in your arsenal, whether it's right foot, left foot, header as well. Be a complete forward. Now you can dictate where you go, because there's no real weakness to your game.
Conti moves on to the ball along the sideline. Douglas lines this up. Douglas skips it into the chest of Hins.
Just see how smart of a player Douglas is. And number one, the spaces that she picks up, but also very comfortable with the ball at her feet. Around 25 yards out. Love the ambition. Doesn't hit it as cleanly as she would like. In the end, it's a straightforward save from Hens. But Douglas has been a handful to deal with.
Just waiting to open the professional account after leading Arizona State's career record with 60 career goals. To nobody in particular. Quino, Denorio, Wolfbauer.
Almost seems like this game says flip. Now it's DC Power, slow and methodical in the way that they build out. And it's Fort Lauderdale United sitting a little bit deeper in their defensive structure.
Our first change of the night, presented by Omega XL Sport. It is Vaca coming out, and the Clemson commit Reese Klein coming in, the 18-year-old who grew up right here in Fort Lauderdale. So we're seeing some of the young stars of this league out on the field here tonight. Flanagan's played a key role. Cross as well. Smith defensively for FTL UTD. And now Reese Klein, who represented the U.S. at the youth levels in 2022 and 2023 at the Pan American Games. That ball knocked out. McCain, Hamid, Raji. Here is Klein with her first touch. Has a goal this year. It proved to be a game winner in the 82nd minute. The last time that Fort Lauderdale United won a match 44 days ago against Brooklyn. Flags up here for offside. Every Wednesday, you can listen to the USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season long on the Sirius XM app. This ball in space. Hamid, or check that, that's Gomes drawing the foul. It's against Constant, and Constant is going to be the first player booked tonight, and very much does not like it.
Tough challenge from Constant. Gets none of the ball, gets all of Gomes, it's late. No real argument she has on her hands from Constant. It's a clear yellow card from Gerald Flores. A big test for her discipline and in decision making for the remainder of this game for DC Power. Once you leave your feet as a defender, you have to be extremely sure that you're going to make any play on the ball. This times it and gets herself into the book.
So now Felicia Knox lines this free kick up. Knox plays it back. Raji hits this ball well, sliding wide, however.
It's clever here from Fort Lauderdale United. Everyone thinks this ball is going to be popped in to a dangerous area. Good strike from Raji, unable to get it on target, but clever from the home side.
Just past the 1 hour ticker. Still scoreless in this matchup between Fort Lauderdale United and DC Power. Alongside Ricky Lopez Espen and our team here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I'm Michael Watfrank. Thanks for tuning in here this evening on Peacock for the USL Super League. This throw comes into the 18. It splashes off of the grass. Angled back. Knox in a tight window. Arcs this ball around and it trickles out. Gordon asking for a deflection, and there is no such call. In the aftermath of both Hurricane Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, as this ball's inside of the 18. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to resources they need to recover. Here's another foul. Oh no, check that. Is it offside? Indeed. Gomes latches on. Wolfbauer pokes it away. It hits the corner flag, and Wolfbauer able to get enough of it to deflect it back out for a throw-in rather than a corner.
Fantastic positioning from Wolfbauer. Playing like for like with Gomes. Plays almost as a hybrid. As a number 9, but can drop down and play that number 10 role as well. We haven't seen Gordon find the same success that we did earlier in that first half. So DC Power have done a nice job of being flexible within their defensive structure and denying the success for the winger.
DC have been shut out in 3 of their 5 road matches, having scored just twice on the road this season. And finding challenges yet again. DC Power side that have led for just 92 minutes of the 1,100 plus that they've played this year. Thrice this season, they've had a lead turn into a draw with their late second half goal. Knox unable to hold on to it. Cross pivots. Knox takes it away. Gordon. Eyes up. Gordon backspins this ball. Back post. And it nearly hit the crossbar again. She did it in the first half, incidentally.
Just lacking that last bit of quality from Gordon and the whole Fort Lauderdale United side. Able to take that third touch, get her hip squared around the ball. So that's why it gives it that bending away action.
This was a Fort Lauderdale United side that had won 3 in a row prior to this recent run, where they've dropped 3 of their last 4. They have not led in any of their last 3. They held just a 15-minute advantage when they lost 2-1 to Lexington back on October 19th. Gordon off of Conti's body and out for a throw. Reese Klein gained some space there. Gomes pirouettes. Gordon. Wolfbauer, Shields. Bodies get tangled up, and it's Felicia Knox that gets called for the foul. Two sides starving for a victory. 25 minutes or so left in this one. Here's Gordon. Douglas. Not a lot of options, but does pick out Conti wide. Conti lays it off. Flanagan juggles. 2 defenders over there. Uses the right foot to poke it away. Flanagan had played 88 total minutes this season, closing in on the 70-minute mark of this matchup. Is there space and time here? Gordon with Gomes joining the fray. But out of her reach, and Wolfbauer knocks it away. Smith called for this foul. The inaugural USL Super League season is underway. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into all things Super League. So, DC Power utilizing its first change of the night. Charlie Escort coming off. And it is Anna Bagley coming in, the three-time All-A10 selection at VCU.
Going to be a like-for-like sub for DC Power. Douglas and Bagley now are going to be the two players higher up the field trying to get that opening goal. How good can they work together? Bagley will be a little bit more of that pocket presence and play in between the lines.
20 minutes to go in this matchup. Both units looking for a goal here down the stretch of this one. 2 more matches to go for DC after this one, 3 for Fort Lauderdale in the first half of the inaugural season of the USL Super League. Gordon hustles after it. Will she have the space to get there in time? Indeed she will. Excellent hustle. Gomes has it. Gomes knocks it around. Arcs this ball to the back post, and running there was McCain and just cannot quite keep it down. But the hustle on this side from Gordon and Gomes keeps that chance alive.
Stuff you can't teach from Gordon. First it's a pace, but how quickly she gets the ball out of her feet and plays it into Gomes. And we've seen Gomes have the ability to keep plays alive when there's a lot of traffic involved. Puts in a fantastic ball into that near post. McCain unable to get her feet underneath her. When this ball comes in, you just need to run through it. Get any clean contact that you can to put it on target.
Gordon again, the conductor of the attack. Gordon, low liner in, back post. It found space, and Hamid cannot quite get there in time, and it leads to a corner kick presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing.
Trying to find a little bit of success yet again from Gordon. It was just so influential in that first half, and that's a fantastic ball in. So if you are Tyron Mears and Fort Lauderdale United, you need someone slashing across that near post. Because if they do, the tap in. If not, you pull out a defender for a secondary option.
Felicia Knox swings this ball in. Fredericks comes out of the pack with it. Brooks is hustling over. Fredericks unable to beat the last line of defense there. Raji getting over. Six of the 7 second half goals that Fort Lauderdale United have scored this year have come in the final 20 minutes. Bagley flies this ball in. Flanagan first time hit. Can't get enough of the foot on it. Conti keeps it in play. Glides past one. Shoots this ball through. Gomes is back there. Another cross all the way over the top. Here's a long distance attempt that Hinge just punches straight to the ground calmly. Nice hit clearance attempt. Lead to a throw in here. And another change being used here. Omega XL Sport brings us this one, and it's the 17-year-old Michigan State commit, Malia Martin, replacing Myra Conti.
And Conti did a nice job in this second half, in particular on the defensive side of the ball. Red Brion had her drop a little bit deeper, and that negated Gordon.
So here's where we sit right now. Shot attempts quite level. 3 saves made tonight by Heather Hins. And this is kind of a summation of these two groups at this point in the season. Creating some chances at times, just unable to find that finishing touch. Two changes coming for Fort Lauderdale United, presented by Omega XL Sport. It's Conti Fung and Adrian Jordan coming in. They replace Raji and Smith. Still scoreless here in this one. DC have come back after a loss to win a match just once this season, in a group that's been shut out 8 times already this year, in danger of a 9th. And time drifting away between these two sides. A goal for either group now could be the difference. Wolfbauer. Lauderdale United have only been shut out once all year. That was a 1-0 loss at Dallas on November 2nd. And if this holds, it'd be the 6th time this season that a match finishes 0-0 in the Super League. And it is a final. Dallas holds off Carolina Ascent 1-0. The finishing touches there. Sam Mez's 3rd-minute goal ends up holding up for the Trinity. Bring this one back for a foul. Entering this matchup, DC had given up the 2nd most goals in the league this year. They've only given up 5 second-half goals this season, but 3 of those 5 flipped a result. And if they give up one here, it would be a 4th time that that would happen. It'd be the 2nd game winner that they concede, you would think, at this juncture. Brooks Hamid tries to turn. Settles for a throw. 80th minute of play. We're still scoreless. Two teams sitting in 6th and 7th respectively here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Michael Watrang, Ricky Lopez, Espen, and our group locking in for the final 10 minutes of this matchup. Here's Brooks again. Flies this one across, backpedaling with a punch. Aquino does enough to keep that ball away from the pipes. Gomes hurdles one defender. Flanagan nudges it forward. Douglas was hopeful, never reached her. Flanagan this time is able to get it forward. It's Douglas. Shakes past one, but not a second.
This game is just asking for someone to produce a little bit of individual brilliance. Whether it's a combination play on top of the 18-yard box or a moment just like this from Gordon. As both teams have been set up for success on the defensive side of the ball. Compacting their structure, letting the play go around them. So who's going to combine, who's going to take a player 1v1, and just be a little bit opportunistic. Whether it is a shot from distance or rebound, a mistake in around that 18-yard box. That's where you think this game is going to be won and lost. There's no real clear-cut opportunities for either side through 82 minutes.
Corner kick presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. Knox flies this ball across. It's headed through traffic. Martin clears. Knox a second chance. Has it taken away. Cross. It's bumped away by Gomes.
And again, really good work from Gomes. She's shown to have the capability to do the defensive side of the ball.
DC have been shut out in 3 of its last 4 matches. The last goal that they scored came on October 25th. That was Flanagan's game winner in the 90th minute against Lexington. And the scoreless drought inching ever so close to 3 consecutive games without one. Be their longest drought of the season. Flanagan shovels it through. There is space on that right-hand side. Fredericks chasing after it. Fredericks slides this ball across, and it bounces across the 6th and ultimately trickles across the end line. A couple Fort Lauderdale changes coming. It's Cheyenne Allen and Gianna Gorley coming in. That duo replaces Hamid and Gomes. Subs brought to you by Omega XL Sports.
It was a positive outing from Gomes. She's shown She can do a little bit of everything for this Fort Lauderdale United side, being part of the build out in the midfield, or can run in behind. For Gorley, good run here.
Off the giveaway. It's another chance at it. Fung runs into danger, and it's a foul, and it's going to lead to a really good location for a free kick.
Just notice the way when Fong receives this ball, Martin, she falls and she tries to recover. So now she's late to this challenge. But there's also no need to leave your feet. You have teammates in and around yourself, and you have a little bit of help. You get it wrong, you take out Fong, and now you have a nice opportunity if you are this home side from a comfortable distance. You can go around the wall, you can go under the wall, or try to test Aquino in her positioning. Try to catch her cheating at the goalkeeper side. You have an in-swinger and an out-swinger. You have to think it sets up for Allen the way that she approaches the ball.
Allen and Fung measure. Tatsi Fung strikes it, and it just hits the outside.
What a positive impact that she's had since coming over the white line, Fung. At the last second, she closed up her hips and gets her foot around the ball to try to bend it. Seems like it actually takes a deflection off the end of the wall.
Couple more changes coming for DC now.
Substitutions for DC Power. Checking in number 6,
Loza Abera
Cujo.
and Jennifer Cujo are coming in.
Also checking in number 30, Loza Denor, to replace his number 11, Cole Douglas. Substitution taking place
Sponsored
in
by Omega XL Sport. Fung takes this ball away. It's a quick turn, but miss hit in the end. That ball touched just by Gorley, but unable to get over to it. Allen chases after this ball. Unable to win the race around. Hustling into space, wanting that ball earlier was Abera. This ball across, and Hins cradles it. Couple more minutes to go in this matchup. Who will have the final say here tonight? Barrow wants it. Gets it in a pocket of space. Lines this up, and her cross gets banged away. Minute now. Resting at 0-0. Goal kick coming. Final chances for these two groups to try to make something happen here at the end. FTL UTD, 12 shots to 8 in this matchup. 3 minutes of stoppage time here in this second half of play. Will either side get a late winner in this one? DC Power have scored twice after the 90th minute. Fort Lauderdale United have scored 3 times after the 90th minute this season. Are there late fireworks to be had out of this match? Out of the reach of Avera. Frustration in the middle. Constant was hustling into an empty space. Hins sends this ball along. Nice shove there. Wolfbauer gets away with it and then gets the return feed. High arcing ball in, dangerous location. It skims off of the head and falls through the nets. It's a high arcing speculative pass, and it's just enough of a redirect that goes into the nets. Anna Bagley scores and DC Power lead 1-0.
Fantastic work from Wolfbauer, a player that played at the striker position. And Fred Brion talked highly of her. She keeps this play alive, and now you give the ball to DeWong, puts in a quality service in a dangerous area. You have to give credit to Bagley. Right before the goalkeeper comes off of her line, any sort of redirect to put it on target. Late into stoppage time, DC Power take a lead here in South Florida.
It's a breakthrough for Anna Bagley. The 23-year-old opens her professional account. It's her first goal since her graduate senior year at VCU in September of 2023. And it looks like it's going to be a winner in this one. Anything left for Fort Lauderdale United? They might have one more chance. Sent back down the field, headed high. This would be quite the stunner. And if it holds, it would be the 4th time in 6 road matches that a DC matchup ends 1-0. They'd be on the top side of the scoreboard in this matchup, ending a 2-match losing skid. Gordon hustles after this. Will she have the wheels? She will not. But it does lead to a corner kick presented by All Year Cooling and Plumbing. And one last chance for a shocker here. Quickly taken. Knox arcs this ball around. Full-time whistle blows, and DC Power in the winning second pulls off a winner. DeWong to Bagley. And it's the difference maker here tonight. A 1-0 victory for DC Power this evening.
Fantastic result and fantastic performance for DC Power on the road. You were tough to break down defensively, and you let your special playmakers higher up the field be that difference maker. Bagley does just that, and if you are Fred Briant, you have to be really pleased with how your team performed here on the road.
DC wins it tonight. And our performer of the game is brought to you by Baptist Health, and it's Shania Gord. She put together a fine performance for Fort Lauderdale United. They just couldn't finish.
I thought she was fantastic. Constantly asking questions of DC Power in that back line. But the next step in her progression to match her talent is how many goals and how many assists can she get in this season, because she has everything that an attacking player wants.
So we'll step out for a break, collect our thoughts, and recap the night. It takes until the 92nd minute, but DC Power wins it. Anna Bagley's first professional goal proves the winner. 1-0 is your scoreline here tonight. We'll wrap it up when we come back. DC Power wins it with a late shocker against Fort Lauderdale United here on the road. Anna Bagley provides her first professional goal in the 92nd minute to win it 1-0, and we're now joined by the 23-year-old from Massachusetts, Anna Bagley. What did you see in that last sequence there, and what was the emotion after you scored?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I could tell that connection with Katie Duan. She picked her head up. I knew she was going to send that ball in, and I was just getting ready to try and tip it. I knew the keeper was coming out, but I got a piece of it, and sometimes that's all it takes.
Anna, coming in as a sub in a game like this where it's so defensively, not real clear-cut opportunities, what was the message from Fred, or if was there any coming into this match for you?
Oh yeah, they set me up coming into the game. We went over the tactics and what to do, but really it's this late in the game, you got to take every chance you can get. So they wanted me to stay higher and try to get those balls in behind.
How does a match like this summarize what this team is and can be moving forward, getting a late winner like this?
Yeah, I think this just shows this kind of team that we are. We're going to fight through every minute, no matter what the score is. We're going to fight throughout the whole match, and we're going to keep going to that last minute. If we have a last chance, we're going to go for it.
You absolutely did that tonight. Congrats on your first pro goal. Congrats on the win. Go celebrate.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Time to take a look at our highlights here tonight, presented by Blue Water Books and Charts. And there weren't a great deal of goal-scoring chances throughout this match, but there were chances inside of the 6 where they need to be more clinical.
Just need to be a little bit cleaner, not only on the ball, but also in the decision-making. This ball from Gomes, this ball needs to be low and hard to that back post, but give credit to Aquina. She did really well at closing down that first post.
Tonight's save of the game presented by Omega XL Sports. And Heather Hins comes up big with Allie Flanagan shooting this ball. It's a really good save by Hins.
Flawless in her positioning. Now that gives her the ability to dive and cover that far post. Fantastic save from Hens.
That kept it scoreless at that point in time. And then this ball, Wolfbauer pushing it back, and Duong, just this high arcing ball. Hens can't get there in time. Bagley gets just enough to skim it through.
You get rewarded for putting yourself into an advantageous opportunity, and Bagley understands, and really brave from the sub as well, because she knows there's going to be pressure to her backside. Any sort of redirect. Fred Briant loves it. DC Power pick up a massive 3 points on the road.
It's a critical 3 points. Tonight's full-time stats presented by Beyond Bankard. And this time, it is DC Power getting outshot, unlike the first time, but they collect the full complement of 3 points tonight. Very much a match where they hung in the game, they took advantage of their chances, even though they didn't have that many.
I think DC Power got this game fantastically right with Fred Briant and his tactical approach to this game. Hard to break down, congesting that central location, and then trying to be opportunistic at any sort of time higher up the field. It took late, showed a bit of personality, showed fight, and this is the type of win that you can take that momentum as you approach the fall break.
It's a big win tonight for DC Power. After 2 straight losses and nearly 270 minutes without a goal, they score tonight in the 92nd minute. Anna Bagley wins it, and it's a 1-0 victory for DC Power on the road against Fort Lauderdale United. For my partner tonight, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and our entire crew here on Peacock, thanks so much for watching. Good night, everybody.